Ken, they tell us to never bury the lead, but we're going to bury the lead just a little bit here because, there's this whole NASCAR playoff thing going on, and, we're only 2 races away from the championship. But we're not going to start there on this edition of Motor Mouths. That's Ken Willis. I'm Chris Vanille, by the way. Let's start with the news you broke this morning. Daytona 500's date is moving in 2027. It will not be held in its traditional time slot. Can you take us kind of through the reasoning why there and the moves there?
I was trying to time that so I could do a spit take. When I go, what? First of all, we've all heard of the comedian Cedric the Entertainer. Right?
Correct.
If I ever get into on the stage, I'm going to be Barry the Lead. How about that?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. Barry, I guess, or it could be Berry or Bury.
You got options.
Yeah, but Daytona 500, they're getting 16 months ahead of the 2027 Daytona 500 because, God, how can I make this short? Back in 21, 4 years ago, I didn't really say that. The NFL, they went to the 17-game season, so it added, and so now the Super Bowl's sitting on the second Sunday of February, and every 7 years or so, it goes. Calendar moves every year. The second Sunday of February is going to be February 14th, aka Valentine's Day. The Daytona 500 traditional date is the Sunday before the third Monday of February. And why is that? Because the third Monday of February is President's Day, and it's a holiday, and it gives a 3-day weekend. Sporting events like the 500 that draws 100,000 people coming into town, largely from out of town, some, a bunch of locals too. Gives a 3-day weekend. Monday's a nice day. You get home and, get packed the RV. So all of a sudden they look ahead and they go, oh my God, in 27, we knew this was coming. And sure enough, there it is. In February 27, Super Bowl Sunday is going to be on the 14th. So we got to move our race date. So they're going to move it back a week. And it's not the first time they've moved it later. I mean, it has run like on that Sunday before the fourth Monday. It has run there probably in the 66 years. It's probably run there about 12 or 14 times. And in the first 10 or 11 years of the race, it was all over late February. It was all over. It was sometimes the second Sunday, sometimes the third, sometimes, a couple times the fourth. I don't know if they could. Yeah, there could be a fourth technically. I don't think it was ever on the fourth. But anyway, the Super Bowl is going to be run on that date, and they did smart thing, and they're diving off of it, and so they're not going to. They know better, and you can't go head to head with a Super Bowl. You can't do anything.
Yeah,
head to head with a. If they were electing a pope, and it happened to fall on Super Bowl Sunday, they would cap the smoke. They would cap the smoke. The smoke cap would have a big lid on it. They go, no, we're going to do this on Monday. And so they're not going to fight it. So the question going forward will be, will the NFL then go back? Will they like President's Day weekend so much? Will they stay there going forward? Or will they go back, or will they just remain on the second Sunday? And then it'll be another 7 years before it's a factor again. So that's what's going to be the telltale sign. However, if the NFL does go to an 18-game season, that pretty much guarantees it's going to be on President's Day weekend every year going forward.
And that's what they want to do, right? So, this could be a more permanent thing. I assume you're not surprised by this. We've talked about this being an upcoming scenario over the last year or two anyway.
No, I mean, I'm not surprised by math because you knew that once they went to the second Sunday, eventually it's going to be on the 14th. And so they started it in the 21 season. So it started in the Super Bowl of 22, 3, 4, 5. So it took them 4 years. It's going to be 6 years, I guess, to get there. And so no, not surprised by the math, and not surprised by the fact that NASCAR is not going to run the Daytona 500 on Super Bowl Sunday. Even if they ran it at noon and the Super Bowl doesn't start till 6, no, they're not going to do it. And it's a crowded landscape is the way Frank Kelleher said it, Speedway president. It's a crowded landscape on February 14th of 27. So, yeah, they did the right thing, smart thing, and the only move you could make, really.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm happy that you were able to do that math on a Bad at Math podcast. I'm impressed, honestly. So let's go to more math. Let's do the standings playoff math over here. A couple of guys really need a win to move on at Martinsville. Let's review. We've got Denny Hamlin in, Chase Briscoe, who won this past weekend at Talladega. He's into the championship 4. And right now, the final 2 guys holding those spots on points are Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. Bell's 37 points above the cut line. Larson is 36 points to the good. That leaves William Byron, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, and Chase Elliott on the outside looking in at the moment. Do you see any surprises coming there?
I think one of those bottom 4, I think it's 50-50 that one of them bottom 4 will win the race at Martinsville. Stage points, you can pick up 20 stage points. You can win the first stage, win the second stage. It doesn't matter where you finish. Those are 20 points added on top of the points that you get from where you finish. So stage points add an element to this that allows you to make up a lot of ground. But you're still gonna have a guy. You're gonna need a Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell. You're gonna need them to finish, back deep in the field, which obviously can happen, as Chase Elliott can tell you after Talladega.
Yeah, over the last couple of weeks, we found that out with Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, and Chase Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott both know this. So mathematically, we're back to math, like you said, it can happen, but chances are it's not going to happen. Chances are that our 4 that we have right now are going to be our 4 unless one of those 4 guys below the cut line wins the race. And again, I think it's at least 50-50 that one of them guys can do it. Chase Elliott's won there twice in the last several years. Joey Logano's won there. I mean, they any of those guys that are in that bottom 4 right now could do it. So it's going to be interesting if it right now. I mean, there's a chance you could have a Final 4 without a Hendrick driver, which would be very odd. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. And right now, it's what 2 Gibbs drivers are locked in, and they could get a third. So that would be tough for the 4th guy in the final who's not a Hendrick driver or not a Gibbs driver. Yeah, it'd be a little rough for him, but who knows? Maybe everybody else would gather around and try to help him as much as they could. I don't know. I tell you what, though, Chris, you know what? We'll see.
I was afraid we weren't going to get one this week. I was afraid.
We'll see. My goal is, I think next week. No, we still got 2 more pods this season. So one of the last 2 pods, it's going to be a We'll See free pod. We're going to go without a We'll See.
Are you able to use that at the end of the year? Like, are you going to be able to, look toward next year and say we'll see after the championship race?
That's the ultimate we'll see.
Okay.
We're going to have the whole off season.
Next week, then.
Yeah, who's going to win how are they going to line up at the 500? Who's going to be the preseason favorite? Blah blah blah. We'll see. I mean, that's the ultimate. When you're looking 3 months ahead.
All right,
of course we'll see.
We will be we'll see free next week. Then book it.
Maybe. I'll give it my best shot. You know what, Chris? We'll see.
All right, we'll see. Let's end with the fan favorite here, show and tell. You got one for us this week?
I do, and it's kind of bittersweet. There's a driver that several years ago, that 21 car with the Wood brothers, that 21, the old historic Wood brothers Ford. It's part of NASCAR. It's part of their history. And if they put NASCAR teams, if NASCAR had its own U.S. Mint and its own coins and its own currency, the Wood brothers will be on something. They'd be on the quarter. They'd be on the nickel. So that's all right. But in the last generation or 2, it's become a place where guys can go and try to have just enough car under them that they can overachieve and make a name for themselves, and then maybe get hired up to a more upper rung team, a multi-car team, blah blah blah. And several years ago, Matt DiBenedetto was that guy. He was overachieving. He was finishing well. He was putting together some good finishes, finishing higher than the team had finished in the previous couple of years. But things happened. They had drivers coming up through the Ford had drivers, young drivers they wanted to put in. He got shuffled out, and he went and ran trucks, ran Xfinity this year. Then a few weeks ago, he left his Xfinity ride. I don't know if he left or was asked to leave. But anyway, I was digging around. I found an old from the Glory Day. No, maybe not Glory Days, but Glory Days. A Matt DiBenedetto Wood Brothers T-shirt.
What is this one from?
I bought it. I bought it.
No way.
Yes, I bought it. It was on now.
This might be. This is like one of like.
It was on a clearance rack. It was the week of it was Daytona Speed Weeks a few years ago, and it was in the merch tent, and it was unfortunately I hate to tell you this, Matt, but it was on the clearance rack. It might have been the year after he left the Wood Brothers, so
okay.
I wear that every now and then just to let people know that Matty D is still remembered. He'll land somewhere next year. He'll be with a truck or Xfinity team in some form or fashion. Unfortunately, it probably won't be a factory team that's highly funded and all that. But he's built himself a nice career, and he hasn't had to really had to work at Jiffy Lube for a long time. So he's been a professional race car driver for many years, and hopefully he'll be one for many years to come. And there you go. Matt DiBenedetto, not gone, also not forgotten, at least not completely. So,
well, there's two things with that. Number one, that might be one of your more random show and tells this year, so I like that. I didn't see that one coming. Okay. Number two, this is one of the only ones I feel like you've actually purchased. Most of them have seemed like media gifts or, hey, I got this from this guy or whatever. This one you went out and bought with real American currency. I like that.
Well, the Orlando Apollo's cap last week, which was talk about an asterisk. That one wasn't even a NASCAR show and tell. That one was purchased, but not by me.
Those are the only things I can really think of are those two, really. But
someone who allegedly loves me and gave me an Orlando Apollo's cap.
Yeah, you like it, though. You can support the old ball coach.
The old ball coach, yep. He won a championship. It's one of the championships in the American League or whatever. No, the Alliance, AAFL. Whatever it was called.
Yeah, Alliance of American Football. Is that right?
League? There it was. There it is. The old League. Orlando Apollos. Yeah, he coached them up for about 8 or 9 weeks, and they folded, but had the best record in the league. Championship.
Mark it up.
We call it a championship.
Somebody here in 2 weeks is going to get a real championship in the NASCAR Cup Series. We'll be here to break it all down. That's Ken Willis. I'm Chris Vanell. This has been Daytona Motor Mouths.
We'll see.